Welcome back to That Recovery Life PDX, the podcast where we explore every avenue of addiction recovery with honesty, warmth, and practical guidance. I'm Jake.
And I'm Maya. Today's episode is a deep dive into two of the most popular recovery approaches out there, Smart Recovery and the traditional 12-step model. We'll break down what makes each program unique, their strengths and weaknesses, and how to decide which might be the best fit for you or your loved one.
And joining us are two very special guests. First, we have Larry, who spent 5 years in a 12-step fellowship before switching to Smart Recovery.
Thanks for having me, Jake. Happy to be here.
And we're also joined by Lynn, who did 2 years in Smart Recovery before moving into the 12-step world.
Hey Jake, Maya, excited to share my story.
Let's kick things off by laying out the basic philosophy behind each approach. Maya, want to take on Smart Recovery?
Sure. SMART stands for Self-Management and Recovery Training. It's a secular, science-based program rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and motivational interviewing. Instead of relying on a higher power, SMART teaches practical tools and techniques, like the ABCs of emotional regulation and the 4-point program. Building and maintaining motivation, coping with urges, managing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and living a balanced life.
For me, the structure of CBT tools in SMART felt empowering at first. Learning to identify triggers and challenge unhelpful thoughts spoke to my analytical side.
And Maya, the 12-step approach? The traditional 12 steps, pioneered by Alcoholics Anonymous, emphasize surrendering to a higher power, taking a moral inventory, making amends, and ongoing spiritual growth. Meetings often open with group readings and end with a moment of prayer or meditation, though phrasing has become more inclusive over time.
I was drawn to the sense of fellowship in 12 steps, the idea that I was part of a community reaching for continuous spiritual progress together.
Larry, you spent 5 years in a 12-step home group before switching. Tell us about your experience there.
In those first years, I felt seen and understood. The shared stories, the weekly commitments, getting a sponsor, working the steps helped me get sober when nothing else had worked. But over time, the emphasis on powerlessness grated on me. I began to feel like I had to keep accepting I was broken without room to celebrate my growing strengths.
And was there a turning point?
Absolutely. At around year 4, I found myself skipping meetings because I felt like I wasn't allowed to feel proud of my progress. I needed more practical strategies to manage stress, rather than just the principle of surrender.
Lynn, you've walked the opposite path, starting in Smart and then moving to 12 steps.
Right. Initially, I loved SMART's toolbox approach, learning to label urges and create a balanced life. But after about a year, I missed the warmth of a faith element and the sense of belonging I saw in AA rooms.
What was the catalyst for your switch?
I hit a plateau. My relapse rate stopped improving, and I felt isolated in action planning exercises. Then I attended my first 12-step meeting and felt an immediate connection. The hugs, the prayers, the feeling that I wasn't doing this alone spiritually.
Let's catalog some of the key advantages and drawbacks of each program. Maya, list a few SMART pros.
Sure. Evidence-based tools. Concrete CBT and motivational techniques grounded in research. Secular approach. Inclusive for those who aren't comfortable with spirituality or religion. Self-empowerment focus. Emphasizes personal agency and control over behaviors. Flexible meeting formats. Many online and in-person SMART meetings are coached rather than peer-led.
Don't forget the emphasis on building a balanced lifestyle, covering mind, body, relationships, and spirit without dogma.
And the cons of Smart?
Less fellowship. Some participants report less emotional warmth than in 12 steps. Variable meeting quality. Coaching styles differ widely, from very clinical to more relaxed. No sponsorship tradition. Lacks a clear mentor-mentee relationship found in 12 steps. Now, 12-step pros and cons, Larry?
Press. Powerful fellowship. Deep emotional connections and accountability. Clear roadmap. The 12 steps provide a sequential path for recovery. Global presence. Meetings anywhere, often 24/7, free to attend. Cons. Emphasis on powerlessness. Can feel disempowering or defeatist. Spiritual focus. May alienate agnostic or atheist participants. Step interpretation varies. Sponsor influence can skew the process positively or negatively.
Great points. Both approaches have strong benefits and potential drawbacks depending on individual beliefs, personality, and needs.
Let's help listeners decide. Maya, for someone who values scientific backing and personal agency, which path might you recommend?
If you're a logical thinker who wants structured tools to manage cravings, SMART CBT techniques could be a great fit. The concept of measuring and tracking progress appeals to those who like concrete milestones.
But if you crave community, ritual, and a sponsor relationship, 12 steps might be more fulfilling. The act of reading steps in a meeting, sharing at the mic, and feeling the group's support can be life-changing.
And remember, nothing says you have to pick just one. Many people blend approaches, running with SMART worksheets and attending 12-step meetings or vice versa.
Absolutely. Recovery is personal. You might try both for a month each and journal how you feel.
Okay, listeners, if you're ready to explore SMART, here's how. Visit smartrecovery.org to find meetings. They have an interactive meeting map for in-person and online. Download the free SMART Recovery Handbook, which outlines the 4-point program. Explore their online message board and weekly web conferences for additional support.
And for 12 steps, go to AA.org for Alcoholics Anonymous or NA.org for Narcotics Anonymous to locate local meetings. They have phone apps too. Attend with an open mind. Carry a list of meeting formats, big book, discussion, speaker, to try different styles. Ask someone to be your sponsor after you feel comfortable.
Online resources like In the Rooms offer both SMART and 12-step communities under one roof, if you're comparing.
We asked on social media, what's your biggest barrier to choosing a recovery path? Let's share a couple of responses.
One listener said, "I'm an atheist. Will AA accept me?"
Many AA groups frame higher power very broadly. You can define it however you like: nature, science, your own conscience. But if that still feels uneasy, SMART might feel more natural.
Another listener asked, "Is SMART only for alcohol?"
No, SMART principles apply to any addictive behavior, drugs, gambling, even overeating. They emphasize self-management across issues.
To wrap up, both SMART and 12 steps offer powerful frameworks for recovery. The best path is the one you'll engage with consistently.
If you're still undecided, try both. Give each a solid month. Journal your experiences, talk to fellow members, and notice which approach resonates.
Recovery is a journey, not a destination. Whichever program you choose, lean into community and tools that help you grow.
You deserve support, compassion, and evidence-based strategies. Your path can include spirituality, science, or both.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to That Recovery Life PDX on YouTube, rate us on your podcast platform, and share with anyone looking for recovery options.
And leave your experiences in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going.
Stay strong, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.